All right, then. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Towards Ones podcast, a place where gaming meets comics, meets sports, meets movies, as well as inspiration. Of course, I'm your host, King Von Jr. You can follow me on social media on Twitter at 301 King Von Jr. You can follow me at uh, on Instagram at Mr. King Von Jr. So I almost getting mixed up. But of course, you can also follow the show's. You can also follow the show's Twitter page. At Victory Pod One. And so yeah, sorry about that. I'm having a little technical issues in terms of the Twitter stream, but yeah, of course, you can also follow me on of course, follow the show's Twitter page at Twitter page at Victory Pop One. You can follow the show's Instagram page at Victorious Ones Podcast. I'm also a social media producer with the Unpopular Review wrestling show Perfect Plex Talk Radio, hosted by Mike Knox on Mondays at 6. And so of course, this has been a very eventful, week. Like when it comes to, because of the fact that we're on the fast track to the road to WrestleMania season. And so of course, in this week's episode, I'm going to talk about the week in wrestling when it comes to Smackdown, when it comes to Raw, as well as NXT, and especially my review of the Royal Rumble. And so of course, and by the way, for those that are watching by way of YouTube, but watching on, of course, when watching on YouTube, of course, subscribe to my YouTube page at Von Rest Virginia. Of course, that's youtube.com/@Von Rest Virginia. Please make sure to like and subscribe for more great content. And so of course, without further ado, like I said, like I said, I definitely want to go into, first going to the week of wrestling, in regards to SmackDown. And this past Friday was so of course this past Friday was the go home episode, the go home episode of SmackDown right before the Royal Rumble, and of course it kicks off with Randy Orton, LA Knight, and AJ Styles confront each other, before the Royal Rumble, and of course LA Knight later goes on to stand tall, in regards to the go home show, like I said, of course leading into Mania, leading into the title match. When you go slow down, and of course after that you have Santos Escobar defeating Carlito, and of course you have on Friday we saw new tag team champions as the Kabuki Warriors. Kabuki Warriors of Asuka and Kairi Sane defeating KC Square, as they call them, Katana Chance and Kayden Carter, to win the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. And so, of course, we have more gold added to Damage Control, minus the Women's Championship, of course. And of course, after that, we see the Final Testament, Karrion Kross's new faction attack Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, or as they're called, of course, as they're called, the Pride. And so of course with that, then of course Austin Theory goes on to defeat Carmelo Hayes. Of course Theory got the win by holding on to Carmelo's tights. And after the match, Trick Williams comes out and saves Carmelo from a beatdown. But of course, is very definitely excited, the fans in Miami. And of course, in this last SmackDown, before the Royal Rumble. Of course, also we saw LA Knight defeat Solo Sikoa via disqualification, and of course, as I said before, of course, SmackDown ended with with LA Knight standing tall over Randy Orton and AJ Styles, and so of course that was of course those are results in regards to SmackDown. SmackDown leading up to the Royal Rumble, and so of course when it comes to, like, some go full circle with everything. But of course, one of the things I like to do is go into the week of review when it comes to wrestling, and then and the thing about it is that, even though the pay-per-view itself was on Saturday, still want to going to the week leading up everything leading up to this week so far. But of course, I want to save the best for last. And of course, I'm talking about talking about the Rumble itself. And so, as far as Raw after the Royal Rumble, Yeah, of course, SummerSlam. Of course, yeah, the Raw after the Royal Rumble. CM Punk addresses his. Well, actually, you know what? Let me go in a sequential order rather. I feel like it's best to go into sequential order when it comes to this. So of course with the of course 2024, of course the WWE Royal Rumble took place. Um, you know, you know, 2024 WWE Royal Rumble took place in Tampa, and so of course I'm going to give the rundown, and of course, what better way to kick off the Royal Rumble than the Women's Rumble match itself? And I would have to say, like I said, it certainly set the tone. What I mean, it was absolutely amazing. It was absolutely phenomenal. I thought it was a great way. I feel like it was certainly a sign of things to come. Um, and so of course, I'm going to go. There's my review, and in order. The first, of course, the number one entrant, the first entrant in the Women's Royal Rumble, of course, was Natalia. Number two was Naomi. I'm not sure if she's still under the TNA contract, or this is her official return. Of course, of course, Naomi returned to a huge ovation, huge reaction. Like everybody was excited. I mean, she was absolutely loved by the fans, and she certainly deserved all the love that she's received. I mean, she certainly deserved the ovation that she's received. And in honor of Naomi, I'm wearing this. By the way, give a special shout out to Strictly for the Culture. This amazing Triple Crown shirt, from based off from WrestleMania 38. This backstage picture of Bianca Belair, as the of course as the Raw Women's Champion after she won the title, and of course along with Sasha Banks and Naomi at the time, who became the women's tag team champions. And little do we know how much things would change within a month after this, and and just so much of the landscape drastically changed in the so much of the women's wrestling landscape drastically changed because of what happened the month after this picture was taken, the month after WrestleMania, and it certainly put up everything in the world. But yeah, of course, along with that, like I said, Naomi was number two entrant, well deserved. Number three, of course, the role model herself, the leader of Damage Control, and one fourth of the four horsewomen, Bailey. Number four, Candice LeRae. Number five, Jordan Grace. Of course, the current Jordan Grace, of course, the current TNA Knockouts champion. Of course, number six, Indy Hartwell. Number seven, the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka, who's a co-tag team champion, by the way. Number eight, Ivy Nile. Number nine, Katana Chance. Number 10, the EST herself, Bianca Belair. Number 11, Kairi Sane. Power, of course, the power herself, Kairi Sane. Number 12, Tegan Knox. Number 13, Kaden Carter. Number 14, Chelsea Green. Number 15, Chelsea tag team partner Piper Niven. 16, Zia Lee. Number 17, Zelina Vega. 18, Maxine Dupree. 19, Nia Jax. Number 20, Shotzi. 21, the man, Becky Lynch. 22, Alba Fire. 23, Shayna Baszler. 24, Valhalla. Of course, 25, Michin. 26, Zoe Stark. 27, Roxanne Perez. 28, Jade Cargill. 29, Tiffany Stratton. And number 30, returning Liv Morgan. So here's the order, of course, here's the order of elimination. Natalya was eliminated by Tegan Knox. Naomi was, Naomi, of course, was eliminated by Jade Cargill. But yeah, like I said, of course, Naomi was eliminated by Jade Cargill. Of course, Candice LeRae was eliminated by Bailey, Kairi Sane, and Asuka. Jordan Grace was eliminated by Bianca Belair, who what amazing. I mean, who did an epic elimination with the KOD on the apron. I was like, wow. that's something I believe they really need to put into the game when it comes to elimination finishing moves. If WWE's listening, what I mean. I feel as if they really need to take notes on that one. But yeah, like I said, of course, Jordan Grace was eliminated by Bianca. Indy Hartwell was eliminated by Bayley. Asuka was eliminated by Kaden Carter, Bianca Belair, and Katana Chance. So so Asuka was eliminated, by the very tag team that she won the titles from. Ivy now eliminated by Nia Jax. Katana Chance was eliminated by Nia Jax as well. Nia Jax was on a complete rampage. Nia was able to she was able to keep the energy of the matchup. So when it seemed like there were sort of like dead spots, dead spaces, Nia was there to keep everything engaged, to keep everything excited. Like just her natural charisma, her ring presence is never to be underestimated, never be denied. So of course, of course, as far as that, like I said, Katana Chance was eliminated by Nia Jax. Bianca Belair would eventually be eliminated by Bayley later on. Kairi Sane was eliminated by Kaden Carter. Tegan Knox was eliminated by Bayley. Kaden Carter was eliminated by Piper Niven. Chelsea Green eliminated by Becky Lynch. Piper Niven eliminated by Nia Jax. And I must say, Piper Niven was going after Nia in this match. She really wanted to prove herself. You know what I mean? So it's just like, because especially because of the fact that when Nia was originally fired, Piper, who was Doudrop at the time, was put in that position to be the powerhouse, immovable object type of figure when it came to the women's division, right? And so now that Nia's back, of course, Doudrop changing name to Piper Niven, Piper was pushed to the side and put the tag team spot, right? And so it's just like one of those things where it's just like now that the original's back, the duplicate that the WWE made, they don't really need them like that anymore. It's almost like, side note, it's almost like when Demolition was created, they were the copy of LOD. But when WWE finally got LOD, it's just like Demolition. It's like we don't really need you no more. It's like when you get the new toy, the better toy, you throw the other one to the side. That's how it was when it came to LOD and Demolition. And I said it to say that's how it is when it was when it came to Piper Niven and Nia Jax. Nia is the original. Piper was just there to kind of like fill in. But now that Nia, of course, Nia is the real deal. Like I said, she definitely showed it in this match. I mean, ramble like that, but I'm just saying, like, that's pretty much how I felt when it comes to Piper and Nia. So, of course, like I said, of course, Piper Niven was eliminated by Nia Jax. Xia Li eliminated by Nia Jax as well. Zelina Vega eliminated by both Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. Maxine Dupree, of course, eliminated by Bayley. And I will say that also Shotzi was eliminated by Nia Jax as well. Matter of fact, Nia had as a matter of fact, that Nia was going to have 8 eliminations in this match. So of course, like I said, Shotzi was eliminated by Nia. Alba Fire was eliminated by Naomi. Shayna Baszler eliminated by a former tag team partner Nia. Valhalla was eliminated by Nia, and hopefully she went to the shower and washed some feet. You know what I mean? Like that whole Viking thing is like, that's a big no-no for me. Michin, of course, another victim of Nia. Zoe Stark eliminated by Liv Morgan. Roxanne Perez eliminated by Tiffany Stratton. Tiffy time. So of course Tiffany Stratton was also eliminated by Bailey. Liv Morgan eliminated by Bailey as well. Um, but I would say, like some of the most impressive spots in the Rumble were, of course, um, Jade Cargill picking up Nia Jax, lifting her up with one arm and then flexing with the other arm. I was like, that's iconic right there. So of course now like I said, Jade picked up Nia not once but twice, and also with the reaction that Jade got when she made her entrance, and so first I was holding, I was like, wait, when's Jade coming? When's Jade coming? What number did they put her in? But then when the music hit and they showed her coming out, when Jade came out and did that turn, I was like, yeah. I was like, all right, business was just picked up, as JR was saying. And I mean, Jade's, I'll just say her face card never ever declined. Her face card is always approved. And I mean, it's just, I guess it's just the lighting of just naturally, like a natural beauty type of thing. But Jade looked amazing. Like she looked phenomenal. And for her to walk up and, fold her arms like this and stare Nia down, I was like, yeah, that's what we're waiting for. That's what we're waiting for. And then they have to face off and just go at it. And so, of course, that's followed by Jay lifting her up, as I said before, flexing one arm, pick up on the other, and then, of course, eventually, Jay would, like as I said before, pick up Nia again, toss her out, and just like in so convincing fashion, and Nia was shook. She was shook. Like what in the world just happened? I know she was absolutely furious. You know what I mean? And so, like I said, when it comes to women wrestlers whose face cards improve, good. Jade Cargill, Bianca, Nia Jax, pretty much those are some of my top. I'm talking about just in regards to especially when it came to the Rumble. Now, outside of the Rumble, Lash Legend's absolutely in the conversation, hands down. Her name's Jakara, but I mean, Rhea as well, of course. But of course, like I said, Nia, never disappoints in that department. Neither do the other women as well. But yeah, this is definitely a clash of titans, like I said, especially when it came to that Nia versus Jade spot, and another spot that that Jade was in that was very impressive. When, as a matter of fact, I was going to say it was Jade picking up Liv Morgan and Bianca picking up Becky Lynch, and of course, they of course Bianca and Jade both held them up. Yeah, I actually know. I actually have the picture right here. Bianca is holding up Liv Morgan in one corner, with holding her up like a gorilla press line, and Jade is holding up Becky in another corner. So Jade and Bianca walk up to each other while still holding Liv and Becky up, holding them up, while while still walking, walking as if walking as if they're holding up like bags or something over their head, and just doing it effortlessly. So just effortlessly holding them up in a gorilla press slam position, and they eventually drop them. So after that, but like I said, so like I said, of course, Bianca had Liv up for a gorilla press slam. Jade had Becky up. Like I said, there were two separate corners. They turn around, walk up to each other while still holding them up, and eventually drop them. And so they have the ultimate stare down. And I think Corey Graves put it best when he said, it was like the like like that Spider-Man meme where those two Spider-Man are pointing at each other. When I saw it staring out, I was like, it finally happened. It finally happened. Their paths have finally crossed at the perfect time, at the most opportune, perfect time. Because this whole time that Jade first showed up, made her debut, she was making the rounds, if you will, like I said, just going across different places. Of course, she made her first appearance, Fastlane, shook Triple H's hand. Jade was making the rounds. Like I said, like in regards to just introducing herself. You know, um, goes to what was his job? Yeah, it's like I said, like son, like I said, it's far, like I said, of course, first she was a fast lane, shook Triple H's hand, uh, goes to Raw, introduced herself to to Adam Pearce and Becky Lynch, face off with Becky. Um, you know, shows up at of course, it shows up at NXT, or at least on the TV, and starts saying, just starts just points her watch like it's time, as if she was going to take the NXT title from Lyra, right? Then she goes to SmackDown, introduces herself to Charlotte, staring at her face to face. Whole time, never crossed paths with Bianca. Matter of fact, the following week, Bianca made a return. Jade never showed up, right? So we're thinking, all right, what's good? Of course, eventually find out, eventually later on, find out, that later on, Jade's mom passed away. And so she's grieving and whatnot. You know, Meanwhile, she's also training, in the lab, right? And so we're just waiting for the perfect time, and boom, at one of the big four events, they finally cross paths. Like, that needs to be on a t-shirt. That picture needs to be framed. You know what I mean? That is iconic because, and then also, I also want to give a shout out to the cameraman, because especially with that particular camera angle, where they're staring at each other, and the WrestleMania sign is right over their head. You know what I mean? So it's just like all they had to do was all Bianca had to do was just point. I mean, this is like, see it, but I mean, this is money right here. Absolute money. Like, come on now. And I feel as though this is like a sign of things to come. For them to have that face-to-face interaction with the WrestleMania sign right behind them, I'm like, yeah. I mean, this is long-term booking, as I say on Public Enemies podcast. But yeah. Of course, not to belabor, like I said, not to belabor this episode any longer. But like I said, it's about time that they, that they finally had that encounter. And when you talk about dream matches, as a matter of fact, I wrote an article, as well as Stephanie Hardy. And each of us wrote separate articles about Jade Cargill and who would be on the list of opponents to face. And each of us had Bianca Belair on that list for great reason, obviously. And so I feel as though this is certainly going to plant the seeds for a future program, whether they start off as a team and eventually one of them turns on each other, one of them turns on the other, or whatever the case may be. But it's just like, I felt as though they pulled the trigger at the right time for them to at least get a woman, get a feel of what each what each of them can do. So I mean, that was the highlight of the match itself, the highlight of the entire night for me, as far as I'm concerned. Um, and so, like I said, I feel like I've talked about this much longer than I need to. But but yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I was certainly, certainly enjoyed what I saw. You know what I mean? So of course, and sorry, of course, as a matter of fact, as a matter of fact, the final five in the Rumble were Bailey, Bianca, Jade, Tiffany, and Liv Morgan, right? And so of course, Zoe Stark was eliminated by Liv Morgan. Jade Cargill, surprisingly, was eliminated by Liv Morgan as well. Of course, Tiffany Stratton was eliminated by Bailey. Liv Morgan eliminated by Bailey, and of course Bianca Belair was also eliminated by Bailey. And your winner of the 2024 Royal Rumble was none other than Bailey herself. And so initially, I had Nia Jax, but I still held out for a wild card. I want to say last week. I want to say as I did my prediction episode last week. Regards to wild card, and someone like Jade or Jade, like either like Jade or Bailey. But yeah, but as far as Bailey winning, I'm not mad about it at all. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, Bailey is a future Hall of Famer. She's one of the horsewomen. And I feel as though her career needs to be treated and handled with the same type of respect as Charlotte Flair, Bailey's BFF, Sasha, aka Mercedes. I wish she would have been in the Rumble. Unfortunately, she was not. But like I said, those two, as well as Becky Lynch. So the fact that Bailey has a Rumble win under her belt, as a matter of fact, she is. As a matter of fact, I'm out the horsewoman. I want to say she's like the third horsewoman to win the Rumble. Actually, you know what? Yes, matter of fact, Bailey is the 3rd horsewoman to win the Women's Royal Rumble. Of course, Becky Lynch won in 2019, Charlotte in 2020, and now Bailey in 2024. So 3 out of 4, 75% of the horsewomen are Royal Rumble winners. And so Bailey has put in the time, she's put in work, she's put in the dedication, you know what I mean? And like with the way that her character has transformed and evolved to what we see now. You know what I mean? As where she was as the role model, I feel like Bailey has tapped into a whole nother dimension, a whole nother level of her character, of her career as a heel. Like as great as she was as the hugger, as the role model, but it's just like you could say that she's even more convincing. Excuse me, like as great as she was as the hugger Bailey, but I feel as though she's become even more convincing and synonymous as role model Bailey, as damage control Bailey. For her to do that 180 and be even more synonymous as a heel speaks volumes. And it's just like Bailey is very, very well deserving. And even though she was going to hint at facing Rhea Ripley, but since we're talking about stories, right? Finishing stories, right? That's the whole theme for the year, right? The whole theme for the WrestleMania season, whatever. Finish the story, yada, yada, yada. Speaking of stories, Bailey has a built-in story already with damage control. So I am thinking that all roads are going to point to Bailey versus Io at WrestleMania for the women's title. And so, like I said, of course, congratulations to Pam with the Yams, aka Bailey. No, or rather Bailey, aka Pam with the Yams. And also another thing I said, get this off my chest when it comes to Bailey. It was great to see her wear the chalk line Macho Man jacket, the same jacket that of course, friend of the program Mike Knox wears. And I was like, man, that's awesome. So it's just like, and of course, Bailey's always been a huge Randy Savage fan. Rest in peace. And so, in her crowning moment, it's only fitting that she wore, that she wore the Macho Man jacket, Macho King jacket. Yeah, but yeah. I mean, so yes, I mean, and so like I said, give Bailey all the flowers, all her roses, what have you. And the reason why I say that is because the people on the graphics team for WWE 2K need to be ashamed of themselves for releasing such a horrible render of Bailey when she won the Rumble. I feel as though they could have they should have just completely scrapped that design altogether and just have a complete redo. I've yet to see the redo, but it's just like, come on now, that y'all are really playing in the face. And I thought about this today. I think because of the fact that that Bailey is such a comical character, you have people who can feel too comfortable and take it for granted and treat her like a joke. And that's what the designers at 2K did. I was disgusted by that. They owe that woman an apology and a better gaming render to celebrate her Royal Rumble. That's all I have to say. Bailey deserves better. So she absolutely deserves better, and I know that she's absolutely excited right now to see the 49ers back in the Super Bowl. Full disclosure, Bailey is a huge Niners fan, so even though my team obviously is not in, but still, like I said, I respect her, and I respect them for what they've done as well. But yeah, of course, like I said, your winner of the 2024 Royal Rumble is going to be Bailey. It is Bailey. Excuse me. Moving on, because of the fact that the women's match raised the bar exponentially high. Now it's time for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship match, Fatal 4-Way. Tribal Chief Roman Reigns versus the Legend Killer, the legendary Viper himself, Randy Orton, versus LA Knight, versus the phenomenal AJ Styles. And they certainly wasted no time at all whatsoever in this, at the start of this match. And so, of course, when it comes to a triple threat Fatal 4-Way, the first thing to do is to go after the champion. That they absolutely did. And the action certainly spilled outside as they took turns to introduce each other to the announce table, if you will. Orton and LA Knight back suplex Roman Reigns and AJ Styles onto the table before Orton dropped LA on the table as well. And so of course each in this match everybody got their offense in. Of course before Roman settled to a very slow and methodical and calculated beat down. And so of course the Tribal Chief destroy LA Knight with multiple clotheslines, but eventually LA found his second win, took out Reigns, hit AJ with a superplex, countered Orton, and hit him with, of course hit Roman with BFT for the first near fall in the match. And so of course, everybody bottom line, everybody was in the finisher on Roman. I can see, of course, LA Knight, the ELT or BFT, whatever that move is, on Roman. AJ Styles hit the Styles Splash on him, and the biggest highlight, honestly, was when Randy Orton just, was when Randy Orton, just like he did before, intercepted Roman's spear and reversed with the RKO. I was like, man, that was probably like my favorite spot, favorite RKO of that night. I was like, man, Randy Orton has mastered that RKO to a science, right? And so of course, his RKO came right after he hit AJ and LA Knight RKOs as well. And so, unfortunately, Solo steps in, drags the referee out right before last fall, and the enforcer of the bloodline knocked Orton out with the Samoan spike. And so, Solo would drag LA Knight on Randy Orton's body, giving, and of course, that would open up the door for Roman Reigns to stack his opponents. And so, it's of course, so the thing is, Roman tried to do what he did at WrestleMania 37. Only this time it didn't work because AJ Styles jumped on the apron and hit Roman with a phenomenal forearm. And so of course, AJ took advantage of this no DQ stipulation. As he grabbed a steel chair, Paul Heyman pleaded, begged, of course, begged AJ to put the chair down, but it fell on deaf ears. And so AJ smashes Roman, smashed the chair in Roman's ribs before Randy Orton pokes him in the eye. And then the tribal chief gave Orton the spear to take him out of the equation. And so LA Knight gets up and just unleashes a huge offensive fury, flurry on Roman as AJ's getting ready for another phenomenal forearm. This time, Roman escapes LA Knight's finisher as he shoves him to the ropes. And then this creates a ripple effect for AJ to fall. And then Roman knocks him out, knocks Styles out with the spear to win the match. And so, of course, your winner is still the undisputed champion, Roman Reigns. But I would say that the other three were the ones who truly carried the match. But it was very, very much predicted, of course. Roman was going to retain the title. The writing was on the wall anyway. After that, we have the United States Championship match with Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens. Your winner, Logan Paul. And this was certainly one of the tougher matches that Logan has had because he's so used to doing high flying moves in his matches, whether it's against Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Ricochet, what have you. This one, he had to fight for more than ever before against KO, but he certainly, earned it. As Logan, as I said once again, Logan defeats KO to retain the United States Championship. Winner is still U.S. champion. Winner is still U.S. champion, Logan Paul. And Logan Paul has more than earned his stripes when it comes to WWE. I can give him his credit. Next up, last but not least, is the Men's Royal Rumble. This is, where things really got, to me, just out of hand. I'm like, I'm going to talk about eye roll. This match was definitely eye roll for me in more ways than one. So anyway, starting off, first two entrants are the Usos, Jay and Jimmy Uso. You know what I mean? And it's very fitting that they're both the first two entrants because this is another WrestleMania match that's in the cards. That's inevitable, right? And what better place for them to have the first one-on-one match than at the 40th anniversary of WrestleMania? You know, and this will be 30 years since Bret vs. Owen kicked off WrestleMania 10. You know, and plus I'm gonna get plus I'm gonna go on the WWE shop and get my WrestleMania 10 T-shirt. You know, celebrating 30th anniversary. But that's neither here nor there. Like I said, of course, injury number one, main event, quote unquote, Jey Uso. Number two, Jimmy Uso. Then number three is Grayson Waller. Number four, Andrade in return, aka Mr. Charlotte Flair, as I call him. So Andrade was the fourth entrant in the Rumble. Carmelo Hayes, number five. Shinsuke Nakamura, number six. Santos Escobar at 7. Karrion Kross at 8. Dominic Mysterio, aka Dirty Dom, at number 9. Carlito at 10. The almighty Bobby Lashley at 11. Ludwig Kaiser at number 12. Austin Theory at 3. At 13, excuse me. Of course, Bobby Lashley, number 11. Ludwig Kaiser, number 12. Austin Theory at 13. Finn Balor at 14. The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes at 15. You know, last year he was number 30, but he's moved up halfway. But yeah, like I said, number 15, Cody Rhodes. Number 16, Bronson Reed. 17, Kofi Kingston. 18, the Ring General, Gunther. 19, Ivar. 20, NXT's own Braun Breaker. In matter of time before you go on the main roster anyway. Like I said, Braun, of course, was number 21, Omos. 22, the surprise of Pat McAfee. 23, JD McBobblehead. 24, R-Truth, back-to-back Judgment Day. 25, The Miz. 26, Damian Priest, Mr. Money in the Bank. 27, CM Punk. 28, Ricochet. 29, Drew McIntyre. And last but not least, number 30, Sami Zayn. You know, with this one, much like the women, if not more than the women, WWE really had to call an audible, especially in light of these allegations with the notorious VKM himself, Vincent Kennedy McMahon Jr. And it's created a huge whirlwind. It's just cast a giant dark cloud, a giant shadow over some of their plans. And so, because of this news, Brock Lesnar was pulled from the Royal Rumble because apparently his name has been involved in this. I'm not going to detail about this, but there's something called Google. You could look it up for yourself. What's been all over social media about VKM. That's what I'll call it now. So anyway, with that, as a result of this snowball effect, Lesnar was pulled from the Royal Rumble. It was a shame because I know I certainly wanted to see Lesnar square off with Gunther, and that would have been perfect for him. As far as his next Mania opponent, this is last year, Brock beat Omos, and this year he could have gone face to face with Gunther at WrestleMania. That's money right there, right? But of course, like I said, of course, unfortunately, that never happened. But I firmly believe that. I believe it. I've heard it said before that Braun Breaker became the substitute for Lesnar when it came to that just super dominant powerhouse Rumble spot, which would normally be reserved for somebody like Brock. Braun Breaker was the one that filled in, and he did a great job for him. So here we go. Jey Uso eliminated by Gunther, who go on to have 3 eliminations himself. So Jimmy Uso was eliminated by Braun Breaker. Grayson Waller eliminated by Carmelo Hayes. Andrade eliminated by Bronson Reed. Carmelo was eliminated by Finn Balor. Nakamura, of course, eliminated by arch rival Cody Rhodes. Santos Escobar eliminated by Carlito. Karrion Kross eliminated by Bobby Lashley. Dirty Dom eliminated by later being eliminated by CM Punk. That Carlito eliminated by Bobby Lashley. Lashley was eliminated by Karrion Kross. Kaiser eliminated by Kofi. Eliminated by Kofi. Austin Theory eliminated by Cody Rhodes. Finn Balor eliminated by Braun Breaker. Bronson Reed eliminated by Otis. Omos. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Bronson Reed eliminated by Omos. Excuse me. Kofi Kingston eliminated by Gunther. So of course, eventually, Ivar was eliminated by Braun Breaker. Braun was eliminated by Dirty Dom. But before that, Omos was eliminated by Braun Breaker. Surprisingly, Pat McAfee eliminated himself. JD Bobblehead was eliminated by Jay Uso. R-Truth eliminated by Damian Priest. Miz also eliminated by Gunther. Damian Priest eliminated by Sami Zayn. Ricochet eliminated by Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre eliminated by CM Punk. Sami Zayn was also eliminated by McIntyre as well. And so, of course, it will ultimately boil down to Gunther, Drew, Punk, as well as Cody. So, let's see. Gunther was eliminated by Cody. Drew was eliminated by Punk. Punk would eventually be eliminated by Cody. And the winner of the Men's Royal Rumble. Very predictable. Mr. Finish Your Story himself, none other than Mr. American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. And so, with this win, Cody became the fourth superstar to win consecutive Royal Rumble matches and the first to do it in 26 years. He joins Rarefied Air Elite Company alongside Hulk Hogan, Shawn Michaels, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. So now Cody is fourth in that category. And the main thing that the other three names have in common is that with their second Rumble win, they were going to win WrestleMania. Hogan won the 91 Royal Rumble, which gave him a shot against Sergeant Slaughter at WrestleMania 7 for the WWF title. Hogan was going to win. You look at Shawn Michaels, his second Rumble win was in 96. And after that, he was going to defeat Bret Hart in that Iron Man match at WrestleMania 12. And then last but not least, Stone Cold Steve Austin. In his second Rumble win, he won to defeat Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 14 for the WWF Championship. Sound familiar? But in this case, I don't see Cody win the title. So I feel like they're setting him up for back-to-back losses. I'm not the biggest fan of it, honestly. But once again, I feel as though they're setting him up for back-to-back losses. And the main reason why is because Roman is going to march toward, as I said before, marching toward history to surpass Hogan on the list of the longest reigning world champions when it comes to single reigns, right? So Roman is right there. The line of sight is pretty much right there, right? And so, I say all that to say that I doubt that Cody would take the belt off of Reigns, especially when you have another champion that was in the skybox as well. And also, I want to say I like how during the Rumble matches they would show the champions watching it, whether it was Rhea, like I said, whether it was a Rhea watching on the TV and EO watching on the TV in another one, right? Whether it's that, or whether you have Roman and Seth each in the skybox, either like, of course, each in their own separate suites in the skybox, right? And so when Cody won, he was pointing especially at Roman Reigns. I'm like, come on. Like, I know this kind of been a point of contention between myself and somebody else in regards to different ideas as it pertains to Rock versus Roman or Cody versus Roman. Just like, I'm hoping that there's still, like those silver lining so we can have Rock versus Roman. And the reason why is because, once again, I feel like it's a passing the torch moment. This is, everybody, as I said before, everybody has a story. I feel as though this is, Rock and Roman's story. When it comes to the culmination of this whole bloodline thing, because essentially Rock really is the original head of the table. So you set that up for the 40th anniversary of Milestone Mania, right? For Roman to truly prove his mettle by defeating the guy who's truly at the head of the family table, and that is The Rock. And for Roman to have a huge win like that on his resume, to add even more to his legend, I mean, it speaks for itself. So, and plus, it's The Rock. It's far more recognizable than Cody. It's just like, who would you rather pay tickets to see, The Rock or Cody? Like, it's not, like I said, it's not that hard. Like, pretty much Rock, head and shoulders. But it's just like, eventually something. Eventually, it's just like, something's got to give. And so it's just like, I mean, I couldn't even take the news of someone saying, there's unlikely that we're gonna get Rock versus Roman. Like, come on now. It's just like, like come on, it's like we've already been played enough when it came to The Rock not being there last year, and then you're gonna, go for a consecutive year to not be there. It creates fatigue. You know what I mean? That's just like talking about, like, especially talking about like preparing for the biggest match ever. It's just like, how bigger can you get than the 40th anniversary of WrestleMania next year in Minnesota? Nobody's really going to care about it like that. I mean, it's right there for you, But yeah, like I said, I feel as though the men's Rumble is very underwhelming compared to the women's Rumble. So that's where I stand on that. And then Monday comes. We have Monday Night Raw. It kicks off with CM Punk addressing a very major injury that he sustained during the Royal Rumble, and it's obvious that he messed up his arm terribly in the Rumble, and so as he's talking, it's a huge chant for CM Punk. A bunch of CM Punk chants pick up, whether he's there or not. Like I said, people just break out of CM Punk chants for no reason at all. So Punk looks up at the WrestleMania 40 sign and he puts his head down. And it's hard for him to truly find the words. And so he said, so of course, on Saturday, Punk said on Saturday he came real close to winning. He felt like he had a palm of his hands, and he was not mad at anybody. He wasn't mad at Cody. As a matter of fact, Punk congratulated Cody on the Royal Rumble. And so Punk was saying it's not about what you deserve, it's what you earn. He said that he was going to say that Cody earned it. And so so of course, Punk gives gives Cody the encouragement. And he said, you hope to see he goes to WrestleMania in Philadelphia and finishes the story. And that is growth. That is big when it comes to CM Punk. You know, the guy who's complaining forever and ever about not having a WrestleMania main event. You know, and it's just like, as Punk was giving a speech, he was, all of a sudden when he said Chicago Cubs, I'm like, come on. You know, it's like, not quite. Now, if he said Chicago White Sox, then, you know, I could truly respect that even more, right? And so on. So of course, the thing is, Punk toward his right tricep during the match, and so on. So as much he tried to ask him and tape it to get the next chamber, he just conceded, and it was like it just wasn't in the cards. So I believe that eventually we're going to have Punk versus Seth at SummerSlam at the very latest. So then Drew McIntyre, of course, Drew McIntyre interrupts and says that even though he's not, sorry about that. Yeah. So of course, Drew McIntyre interrupts, and you could tell that he's waiting for a moment like this. McIntyre says that even though he's not a religious man, he prayed for this to happen. I was like, ugh, that's sinister right there. That's just straight up vile and whole another level of being a player here. And I was like, man, I was like, come on now, dude, you had to go there like that, like, man, that was a burn, and so so of course, Punk looks, just looks disgusted, and so so of course, Punk steps up to McIntyre. His heart hurts more. His tricep, rehab it, and main event WrestleMania. The first on his checklist is McIntyre, and so on. So of course, Drew goes to attack him, but Punk ducks and ducks and kicks him, and so kicks away him. But of course, Drew takes Punk down. Of course, with the Glasgow kiss and just stomps on an injured arm, and of course, Sami Zayn runs down, make a save, and so of course, he fights off McIntyre and helps CM Punk get back on his feet, and that is how we start off Raw. After that, we have the Judgment Day, of course, the Judgment Day Clubhouse segment, where of course, Rhea Ripley is going to remind Bayley of who she is, and so it's usually like tonight's all about sending a message that was sent at the Royal Rumble, and so Damian Priest says that they're done with distractions, and Finn says everybody's just getting too comfortable. You know what I mean? And so of course, as far as that, and then of course, this leads to the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship match between DIY versus Judgment Day. And so of course, you win by pinfall. Still the undisputed tag team champions, the Judgment Day. And then there's another backstage segment with Punk's being attended to backstage. And then, of course, later on, we find out Sami's going to face Drew McIntyre. Then the following match with Shannon Baszler and Zoe Stark versus Chelsea Green, Piper Niven. Of course, your winners, Shannon Baszler and Zoe Stark. Whatever, that's just life work, right? And so Cody comes out and addresses winning the Royal Rumble back-to-back years, talking about finishing the story, blah blah blah, yada yada yada, and then eventually Seth Rollins' music comes out. Seth Rollins' music comes on. You hear "Burn It Down," and Rollins comes out and addresses Cody, saying they have always seen eye to eye, but he says they develop a mutual respect for each other. Rollins talking about this, talking about like, as far as like just talking about like how Cody talks so much about Dusty, but this isn't about Dusty. Right now, it's about Cody, and he's saying that if you really want to finish the story, you got to work with the championship. and then he was just running Roman down. I was like, man. I mean, like, well, first off, Rollins was saying that he's got to be real. He said, if you choose to fight Roman Reigns, he's making a mistake. He's saying saying that Roman's not a god. He's not, this unbeatable, type of guy and stuff like that. And so, I mean, like you want to talk about smear campaign of Roman and the WWE title. He was saying that that you want to be a poser and a politicker like Hulk Hogan. Hogan's catch strays, which is great. If you want to do that, then you go after the WWE Championship. But if you want to be a workhorse champion, you know what I mean, like a fighting champion, then you go after the Raw Championship. And it's a funny thing that Rollins said. He said this championship is for us, by us. A subtle, FUBU reference, if you will, not so subtle, really. But I was like, man, this is an amazing segment. And so of course Cody just looked surprised and perplexed. And so of course, Rollins says that that Roman isn't even the guy anymore. And Seth says that he's the guy. The World Heavyweight Championship is the title in WWE. And so Cody says that of course, the thing is Cody gets really conflicted, and he tells him that he's going to think about it, right? And so of course after that, we see Kofi Kingston backstage with Xavier Woods, and saying a lot of people think about how funny the New Day is, but they forget that they know how to win titles. And Kofi declared that he's going to be a 5-time Intercontinental Champion, and of course later on, he's going to for the IC title. But of course before that match, we have Jey Uso versus Bronson Reed, and the winner of the match, Jey Uso, right? And so of course we're going to have Kofi Kingston versus Gunther for the Intercontinental title. An excellent match. I mean, Kofi definitely had Gunther on the ropes, right? Like he was giving him the fight, giving him the run for his money, but of course in the end, the ring general wins, and he's still your Intercontinental Champion. So now he's been champion for 600 days. Next up, a non-tag title match between the Kabuki Warriors and Natalya and Tegan Knox. Your winners by pinfall, the Kabuki Warriors. And so of course Bayley addresses her Royal Rumble victory. And so of course Bayley comes out with damage control. And so Bayley says that she'll let people take a picture of them in the ring, this, that, and third, and just constantly, just like I said, just trash talking, just gloating and bragging, of course, bragging about the wins, and so of course, she was saying when was the last time the women's tag team champions, the women's champion, the Royal Rumble winner, were all in the ring together, and she says it's never been done before. It's history, and she says all because of her. So so of course Bayley was talking about how everybody thought that she was done, that she wasn't going to come back from the injury, and so she was saying that even though she may not have been on the post, Bayley was saying she may not have been on the poster, but she's the winner. And so of course she talked about how she went up against the most stacked women's roster they've had, beating Rhea Ripley's record and lasted 63 minutes and 3 seconds. So, of course, because of that, it triggers Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley to come out to the stage. Ripley says the only reason that Bayley beat her time in the Rumble is because she wasn't in the match. And so, meanwhile, the rest of Damage Control has gold except for her. And so Bayley chooses her for WrestleMania. It will remain that way. So all of a sudden, Nia Jax comes out and attacks Rhea from behind, And so at ringside, Nia and Rhea fight, and eventually take it to the ring, and Nia just squashes Rhea, just destroys her. You know what I mean? And of course, Nia goes on to drop Bayley. I mean, not Bayley, but drop Rhea with 2 leg drops before squashing her and just flattening her with the annihilator, aka bonsai drop. And somebody said that when Nia was beating up Rhea, damage control, sit in the corner like some kids in high school watching the fight. You know, that's what it looked like, right? And so I was like, yeah, that's pretty much. And so um, Nia, of course, after that, Nia, of course, after that, Nia approaches Bailey, who's just terrified in the corner, and so she just tells Bailey to pick Io instead because Rhea is not going to make it to WrestleMania, and Bailey just just terrified. So that she just said that she was going to make a decision by Friday. That firmly believe that on Friday she's going to pick Io, because clearly she does not want that smoke. Then we have Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre. Your winner, Drew McIntyre, to close out Raw. And so, of course, last but not least, not to belabor, of course, when we have, of course, NXT starts off with the Dusty Classic Tag match, Trick and Mello versus the LWO's Joaquin Wilder and Cruz Del Toro. Of course, the winners, of course, the winners, Trick and Mello. Roxanne Perez will go on to defeat Taylor Paxley. And of course, that was a payback from last week. Lola Vice defeats Electra Lopez. Lexis King defeats Rich Holland. Ariana Grace defeats Fallon Henley. Noam Dar defeated Von Wagner to retain the Heritage Cup Championship. And so those are your results for NXT, the final show before Vengeance Day. And of course, to close out NXT, we also had the segment with Trick Williams, Ilya Dragunov, and along with Carmelo Hayes in the end. And so, of course, that we still have that storyline constantly hanging over. But yeah, as far as to close out the show, I would like to give my review, my review of the Royal Rumble. If I'm going to give it a rating out of 10, I give it about 6 out of 10. The Women's Royal Rumble was the highlight, but I feel like some of the other matches kind of dragged it down. And I wish we would have seen Mercedes, but it is what it is. But yeah, I'll give the Royal Rumble 6 out of 10. Hard for me to really give. It's a really good one. The best belt grade I can give it. Probably 6 out of 10 is WWE titles. So of course that is my review of the Royal Rumble and of course the week in wrestling. So thank you very much for watching another episode of Victoria Sports Podcast. And may you enjoy the rest of your night as well as the rest of your week.